Artillery has evolved, so too has warfare.
War's changed. It's different. Nobody's facing each other anymore. They don't even see each other, let alone know who they're killing.
The firepower of war has made the journey from a bow and arrow to the modern artillery piece that rains down destruction from 30 kilometers away. Fort Sill, Oklahoma. These American gunners are learning how to shoot sophisticated pieces of military technology, today's big guns. Weapons that control the most powerful forces in a fraction of a second. This is the M777 howitzer, part of the US Army's arsenal. When it fires, the temperature inside the gun soars to 2,500 degrees Celsius. Its barrel must contain more than 7,000 times the energy of an AK-47 assault rifle. And its shell travels 3 times faster than a Boeing 747. These core elements of modern artillery and how generals have used them have evolved over centuries of trial and error. Before artillery, there was the bow and arrow. But the bow was only as powerful as the archer.
There's a limit to how much the human body can pull a bowstring, and also the length of the human arm makes the range and strength of discharge essentially very limited.
Artillery took warfare beyond the limitations of a soldier's reach. Its evolution, to begin with, was a constant quest to increase range. This evolutionary journey begins around the year 421 BC. In southern Italy, an ancient Greek force deploys a new kind of weapon against an Italian tribe. It may have been the very first artillery piece used in warfare, the gastrafitis. In essence, it's a mechanical bow that uses tension as the power source. Mechanizing a handheld weapon is how early artillery inventors solved the problem of how to hurl a projectile further.
A normal bow allows you an effective range of about 150 to 200 meters, and the gastrafitis probably increase that to about 250 meters.
That extra 50 meters is vital, especially against an enemy that has no artillery. But to shoot something heavier than an arrow will require more power than the gastrafitis can provide. How this engineering problem is tackled fascinates Ivan Williams. He believes early inventors found the solution by observing nature.
You can see it on big trees when the wind blows and they twist back again. All those fibres, as they twist together, want to come back again. So it's a big spring. You can see it, this tree here that's been split, and the fibres, as I split it, have followed it round in a curve, clockwise curve. So as I move this arm round, all the fibres in that tree, top and bottom, are twisted tighter together, and that creates a lot of energy. That's quite difficult to pull round.
The action of twisting the tree stores up energy. This springy sapling points the way to a weapon system that would supersede the gastrafitis. Torsion power, a system that would revolutionize artillery. Wood, fiber, even human hair can be turned into rope, and all can be used as the power source for torsion artillery.
What you have to do is to crank it round, turn it round, spin it round somehow, rotate it so that you're harnessing that inherent natural force, control it, and then release it at precisely the right moment.
The ancient Greeks built and tested various torsion artillery pieces in the 4th and 3rd centuries BC. British experimental archaeologists have painstakingly reconstructed one of these machines. It's called a ballista, and its capabilities are a step up from the gastrafitis.
We want to throw heavy rocks, 30 pounds and more, 60 pounds. So to do that, a different power source is required. What twists it and stores the power is a steel arrangement up here with a pin that goes through the rope and then is locked into place with this pin here.
Torsion power means that for the first time, heavy stone missiles can be shot over long distances. The Greeks invented artillery technology, but one of the most striking examples of its use in ancient warfare was provided by the Romans. It is the year 73 AD. The fortress of Masada in today's Israel. Rome's 10th Legion lays siege to a force of Jewish rebels holed up in this lofty stronghold. More than 400 meters above the desert floor, Masada appears impregnable. Yet the Romans are able to build a ramp up to the walls and batter their way in. Key to the success of this assault is the way the Romans used torsion artillery.
This is a ballista wall that was found here during the excavations, and they were found scattered all over the area.
And in large concentrations near the breach in the fortress wall at the top of the ramp. The Roman commander, Flavius Silva, seems to have been employing a specific artillery tactic, suppressing fire.
These weapons are not capable of battering down huge 12 or 13-foot thick walls. They are purely designed to keep people off the top of the walls so that they don't interfere with your siege preparations.
Everything was directed to one thing, to bring the battering ram on top of the ramp to those 20 meters, 25 meter wide area where they wanted to breach the wall.
As the huge siege tower with its battering ram inches slowly up the ramp, Roman artillery keeps up suppressing fire, both from ballistas mounted on the siege tower and also from positions at the bottom of the ramp. At Masada, tactical use of ballistas contributes to the defeat of the rebels. Fortress walls are no insurance against this kind of attack. Artillery helps the Romans succeed in a siege. It also plays a vital role in how they build and defend their empire.
Technology reacts to pre-existing need. The Romans are going to be outnumbered everywhere they fight. If they're on the frontiers in Asia or Northwest Europe, the problem that they're going to face is they're going to have tribal armies that have far more combatants. You can harness technology to equal the odds so that one bolt can go through and kill 6, 7, 8, 9 people and make people so scared that they'll flee.
The Jewish historian Josephus witnessed the terror tactics of Roman artillery at first hand.
When a pregnant woman was struck in the belly on leaving her house, the unborn child was flung 100 meters. So tremendous was the power of that stone thrower.
Artillery in the ancient world had a shock and awe value. The very visceral effects of the impact of projectile fire had a great demoralizing effect on defenders.
Artillery becomes a standard part of many commanders' armory. Victory now no longer depends just on hand-to-hand combat, and killing becomes a less personal matter. Weapons that strike from great distances begin to change the way battles are fought. At this gun factory in Mississippi, engineers are building M777 howitzers. When finished, they will have produced a gun with the power to shoot a shell in excess of 24 kilometers. That's 80 times further than the torsion-powered ballista. Just as engineers today try to maximize the range of modern artillery, so the inventors of the past tried to increase the distance their weapons could achieve. In the 12th century, a new kind of artillery appears on the battlefield, the counterweight trebuchet, the most powerful weapon the medieval world produced, an invention that surpasses what torsion technology had been able to achieve. This is Falster Island, Denmark. Home of the medieval center. Here, men are busy recreating the technology of the past. Engineering trebuchets is one of their specialities. Believed to have originated in China around 400 BC, the early trebuchet seems to have been a simple device like this. Soldiers pulled on ropes to propel a missile from a sling. Knowledge of this technology traveled westwards.
Now, when did it come to Europe? That's a real question. We really just don't know. But in the Crusades, we see the true origins of the trebuchet that we know today.
The trebuchets used in the Crusades are a much more advanced machine that use a mechanical counterweight to shoot projectiles. It is this 12th century version of the trebuchet that experimental archaeologist Peter Vemming wanted to build. This one is 22 meters high and works by releasing a counterweight that can weigh the same as 4 SUVs.
When we build a machine like this one, we lack 1,000 years of experience. That's why you call it experimental archaeology. You have to try and try and try.
Ja, så må jeg gerne begynde at gå.
And you need a lot of manpower. As the men inside the wheels walk, they winch a rope and pulley system that slowly raises the counterweight. Meanwhile, a distant floating target is pushed into place, nearly 400 meters away.
Giv op, der kastes!
The sling on the end of the firing arm shoots a stone ball that weighs 15 kilograms.
Short a few feet, about 20 feet to the right.
Each shot reaches or even goes beyond the target. Lack of a direct hit isn't the drawback it appears. In the Middle Ages, the trebuchet will be either aiming shots at or over a whole castle wall. And trebuchets can also shoot missiles that will shatter on impact into lethal flying fragments. Eyewitness accounts suggest they are also used as a terror weapon.
We get these stories of them launching things over the walls.
Barrels with oil that they could ignite.
The heads of their enemies that they'd captured to scare the people inside.
We even have sources that tell us that they sent back captured spies, enemies, And you knew they were landed when the cry stopped.
Sometimes, just the threat of trebuchet attack could be decisive.
The best siege is the one that's not fought. If you have this big, huge device that launches things over the walls and into the walls, and the sound is incredible, and fires start, and people are going to say, we've had it. We're surrendering now. It's done.